So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology speed test. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go. Now, the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is Samsung's latest and greatest refined foldable smartphone versus Apple's best iPhone right now, at least till September 7th. The event was announced yesterday. We have a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 over here, 12 gigabytes of RAM. Over here, Apple A15 Bionic chipset with their own proprietary iOS, and it does have 6 gigabytes of RAM. You can see the Z Fold did take a little bit longer to turn on, so the first test, the iPhone definitely does turn on faster. But the iPhone doesn't do this either. It doesn't fold open and have, two screens to look at. So boot up might not be the only factor that matters here. And also let me know if you guys want to see a full comparison between these two phones right here. I have been seeing quite a few comments of people saying, Nick bro, should I keep my 13 Pro Max or should I go get the Z Fold 4? So let me know if you want to see that comparison. So when it comes to biometrics, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 does use an embedded fingerprint sensor on the side. It's hardware based, just like the older Touch ID systems were, but this one's on the side of the phone. So I do love this. And why? It's because it's perfectly accurate all the time. There's none of that, in-display fingerprint nonsense. I mean, it's not really nonsense. It works well on the S22 Ultra, but at the same time, physical fingerprint sensors just are more accurate. And I'm glad Samsung went with that decision right there. This also has a face unlock, but it's not as secure. And then Face ID, we all know, works fantastic. They've even improved it on different angles, so it doesn't really fail ever. Unless you're looking at in too dark situations. They even have it available with a mask if you do wear a mask in certain situations. So definitely both very fast. I would say the Samsung's a little faster. I can pull this out of the pocket, not even be looking at the phone with the fingerprint, and just get in there. So yeah, it's pretty darn accurate. You could set multiple fingers to this as well. It doesn't have to be just, your thumb, for example. Okay, so when it comes to general performance, just kind of scrolling through your home screen, stuff of that sort, I gotta tell you, both of them are buttery smooth. Even the Galaxy Z Fold on its cover display is buttery smooth as well. Let's go ahead and flip it open into its main display and see what we have here. So inside of its main display, which is how we'll conduct the speed test as well in a minute, it's also buttery smooth. So Samsung has made sure that not only on the inner display, but also on its cover display, it retains that 120 hertz feel. So if you are looking for that smooth feel, you're gonna have it on both screens. Of course, you could turn it off to save battery. And it's one of the things I really liked about the iPhone is just how smooth it always felt. The 13 Pro Max, just that refined feel. The Galaxy Z Fold 4 has that same kind of feel, and it seems like with their software updates, they're getting better. Also, they launched this ready to go. Unlike with the S22 Ultra, I had a couple of hiccups here and there. The Z Fold 4 hasn't been giving me no hiccups. I've been trying it just for the better part of 48 hours. No real hiccups to speak of right now. All right, so here we are at the app test. Everything closed out for both phones. If it looks a little funny, it's because it is, they're not the same type of phone. This is more like an S22 Ultra type of phone, a flat phone in the front. Over here we have a foldable, but let's get on to the business anyway. We'll begin with clock, and you can see iPhone a little faster. Now animations are set to default, so yes, you can make the animations faster on the Fold with developer options, but I'm leaving it how it comes out the box. Let's go into calculator. You can see slightly faster on the iPhone. These are just basic apps up at the top. We'll go into calendar. You can see animation a little faster on the stock app for Apple. We'll go into App Store, Play Store. That one's a little faster to the iPhone. We'll go over here to games on both, and you can see games faster for the Samsung. Once you're actually in the app, sometimes the Samsung looks a little faster, but initial launch usually to the iPhone. We'll go into Instagram. You could see Instagram was first on, look like the Samsung. We'll go into profile, and again, if I miss it, let me know. I'm not perfect. Go over here. You can see pretty similar, but look how much different the viewing area is. If you're trying to really enjoy content or media, Z Fold 4 just blows the iPhone out of the water. Let's go over here. We'll go into Twitter, and that's not me being biased. It's just facts. Look at the size difference. It's just not comparable. We'll go over here. You'll see right there. And why I say this is because these phones are around the same money, especially with a trade-in. Not at retail, but most people will be able to trade in their high-end phone, get the Z Fold for a ridiculous 1,000 off if you take advantage of that pre-order, which is still on until tomorrow. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to get on it, this will be the time. But Twitter looked about the same, not too much different. All right, I had to do a quick cut because Amazon was showing some personal info. Let's go into Amazon. And you can see, it looked like the Z Fold had it. We'll head up out of there. We'll go into eBay, and you can see eBay first on the left. And one thing to note is that Z Fold does have incredibly smooth animations, just like 13 Pro Max, which is a great thing. If you want that phone to feel super smooth, it should for that price. We'll go into Best Buy, and it does. It definitely delivers. You can see the Z Fold 4 faster than the iPhone there on Best Buy. And so what is this telling me so far is that just how close these are competing is that even though you have the technically superior chip on the iPhone, in real world practice, it just comes down to which experience you really want categories, because both of them are going to do the same things day to day in terms of speed. They can both pop applications open a lot faster, but look, you can get dual pane views here on the Z Fold because there's more screen area. You see that? Like if you're in an application that can show more content, you got to scroll more to see the same content on the iPhone because this folding phone has the space to display more. So it definitely has advantages. We'll go into Starbucks, and of course there's no comparison in multitasking, but I'm not making this a review. We'll go to Starbucks, we'll go into ESPN, and you can see ESPN is, look like they were both loading something different. Yeah, we'll go home here, but both of them pretty close in that area. We'll go into Dead Trigger 2, and when I say close, I don't mean that they're a tie. I'm just saying it's pretty close on the load. We'll go into play here. It looked like Dead Trigger was first on the iPhone, and again, you could see once you're in gaming, you're going to get more space on the Z Fold. Certain games will load faster on Android, certain games will load faster on the iPhone, but which one do you want to game on? It's really up to you. We'll go into Subway Surfers, but I do have to say that a lot of people tend to develop newer games first for the iPhone because they know it's more lucrative. They're going to be able to sell more quicker. You can see right there, Subway Surfers far faster on the Z Fold 4. So you can see certain games are developed very well for Android as well, and sometimes they'll open faster on that platform. I'll tell you right now, I'd much rather play games on the Z Fold just because of that screen size. Do you feel me? Let's go on to Temple Run 2 right now, and we'll see what happens here on Temple Run 2. So you can see that we have a win, looks like to the Z Fold 4. So this Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 in real world practice is not playing around. And one area I'm going to tell you that is really great about the Z Fold 4 so far is it manages its heat well, just like the iPhone does. So it doesn't really get too hot when you're playing games and using the phone, which I love. I really dislike phones when they get really hot. Let's go into Lightroom, and you can see pretty close. Wasn't a big major change in performance there. We'll go into Geekbench 5. You can see we do have the Apple A15 Bionic. Definitely both pretty similar there. We'll go into 3D Mark Wildlife. Pretty good on that one. And Speed Test. You can see Speed Test first on the right. So I've been, I might have missed a couple on my commentary here. Overall, what I've been seeing is some animations are a little bit quicker on the Z Fold. Some apps open faster on there. Some apps open faster on the iPhone. It really just depends on the application. Overall though, the smooth factor of both of them, just how the apps perform, Samsung knocked this one out of the park. They launched it ready to go on the Z Fold 4. They didn't launch it with no buggy feel or anything like that. And the iPhone has been super smooth to begin with. So either way, in terms of a pure application performance standpoint, they're both going to be extremely strong in this area, both neck and neck. So let's go back through the applications on the Z Fold 4 and see if we get any reloads. We should not with 12 gigabytes of RAM. And this is one thing I love about the Z Fold, 12 GBs of RAM. That's a lot of RAM on a smartphone. And it definitely showcases, I think I went to the wrong app there. I was supposed to go to ESPN, but you can see it definitely showcases, it definitely opens up everything as fast as you would like it to. And it doesn't close applications in the background. And these apps are actually running. They're not just paused, they're literally running in the background. Of course, you can set some applications to close and settings to save battery life and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you leave it stock, it runs very well. We'll go into the iPhone here. You can see just buttery smooth on reopening these apps. I love how the iPhone's animation looks when going back between them. Fantastic. You could see no major hiccups, nothing to speak of. Just beautiful, flawless RAM management performance there for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Love how that one looks. I think it looks a little smoother. Love how the iPhone looks, but the Z Fold held that application just as well. So it's basically a tie here once again. All right, so here we are at the internet browsing test. Let's go to apple.com, 3, 2, go. And you can see both of them pretty close on that one. We'll learn more about the iPhone 13 really quickly here. And you can see Samsung Internet versus Safari. Apple a little faster on that one. Scrolling still faster on the Android side of things. And you can see on the Apple side, super smooth scrolling. So let's go to Samsung.com now, 3, 2, go. And you can see Samsung loads faster on the iPhone and then the Z Fold. But they are loading their full looking website here, so that could be why, versus a more mobile looking version. So this is like the full website like you would see on a laptop. So that could play into it, but both of them incredibly fast, incredibly smooth in web browsing, which is, again, I would say somewhat of a tie. You know, they're pretty similar here in performance. Not a tie in the experience. Again, that's reserved for the full comparison, so stay tuned for that if you want to see like how they compare in usability. But in just speed, pretty close. All right, so here's our final scores, and the Z Fold actually has a respectable score, especially for an Android phone. 3631 on the multi-core, 1306. It is beat by the iPhone, not really crushed by it, but beat by it by a pretty good margin, especially on multi-core. Score, single core, not a major difference, but where the iPhone really will push ahead is in things like rendering a video, for example, or doing something that really pushes the CPU to its limits, which most people will never do on these phones, because when you're pushing things to the limits, you would have to be a hardcore smartphone user to begin with, and in that case, you're probably going to just go to your computer to push that thing to the limits. So it really comes down to usability, because in terms of usability day to day, both of them feel incredibly smooth, incredibly fast. And Samsung's got my attention with this one. Am I going to switch from the 13 Pro Max? Well, stay tuned to find out. Well, at least maybe till we see what the 14 Pro Max brings, because really, this one is pretty impressive compared to the Z Fold 3 and being refined. It's one of the reasons why I kept, praising the iPhone 13 Pro Max all year, just the polish, the refinement. Z Fold's coming with that same type of stuff. So stay tuned for more. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well. Let me know your thoughts down below, and peace.